In 2100, we will be transitioning into a Type 1 civilization. Currently, we're advancing toward this in many ways. Hopefully, by 2100, we will have more efficient ways to live our lives. Energy, for example. The definition of a Type 1 civilization is, as described in the book Physics of the Future, it is planetary, consuming the sliver of sunlight that falls on our planet, or about 10 to the 17th power watts. Currently, we use fossil fuels for energy, such as oil and coal, but by 2100, we will be using different forms of energy, such as fusion power, which uses the nuclear power from the sun.
As of 2011, 29% of Internet users log on in English, 22% in Chinese, 8% in Spanish, 6% in Japanese, and 5% in French. In 2100, Kaku predicts that English will become sort of a universal second language. This will greatly improve communication over the Internet, as we will no longer have the large language barriers.
By 2100, humanity will be starting its first colonies on Mars and on the Moon. Later on, during the transition to a Type 2 civilization, we will have traveled through most of the galaxy and close star systems. Last time a human was on the Moon was 40 years ago, and NASA is lacking funding. This is a major difference between 2100 and now.
By the time we reach 2100, the nature of war will change drastically. It will reflect on a new reality. In every war in past years, two or more democracies have never gone up against each other. War fever, as it is called in the book, can be easily whipped up by demagogues who demonize the country. But in a democracy with a vibrant press, oppositional parties, and a comfortable middle class that has everything to lose in a war, war fever is much harder to cultivate. In the future, as democracy spreads, wars will become less and less common as people will share the same beliefs. As Karl von Clausewitz said, although we will still have wars, their nature will change as democracy is spread around the world.
In the book, Kaku states that pretty much every device will be connected to the Internet. One invention that was widely talked about were a special type of contacts that connect to the Internet, sort of like the current Google Glasses. In addition to this, every aspect of our world will be smart, or having the programming to do everyday tasks. Many future inventions will have a way to download programming from the Internet. It may seem like we have many Internet-using devices now, but in the future, pretty much everything we own will be connected.
As of today, the average lifespan in the USA is about 80 years, and about 73 years for the average of the world. In Physics of the Future, Michio Kaku predicts that the average lifespan could reach up to 500 to 1,000 years. This could be a possibility through growing organs, gene therapy, and other prolonging youth tactics. Today, we are in just the infancy of growing organs. 18 people die per day waiting for an organ transplant, and replacing dysfunctional organs will play a huge role in prolonging a human's lifespan.
Both now and in the future, the Internet will play a huge role in our daily lives. We use it to communicate, and as the English language becomes more common, this will become even easier. The barriers between people, such as living in different states or countries, will become smaller and smaller.
An example of a country with diverse culture is the United States. In the USA, there was a wide variety from Asian cultures to Hispanic cultures. With this diversity in culture, people are more accepting of differences in beliefs. This is going to be the same in the future due to more people traveling. Soon, most cultures will be one and the same.
As the human population grows, disease epidemics will become more dangerous. In the past, epidemics were not a huge problem due to low population, but in the future, diseases will need to be sterilized faster. Breakouts of diseases will need to be closely monitored to prevent them from spreading across the world. With the medical advances, however, we can hope that we'll be able to fix them quickly and easily.
As we develop into a Type 1 civilization, economy will be a new criterion for superpower, not nuclear weapons. With the rise of the European Union and the North American Free Trade Association, it is becoming clear that world power can maintain its dominance through economic might. Nuclear wars are too dangerous to fight, so it's economic might that will largely determine the fate of many nations. It will soon be clear that a superpower can maintain its status through economic might, and that in turn stems from science and technology. So, in the future, we will be advancing in many different ways. Cultures, customs, and languages will all blend together with the rise of traveling and tourism. Wars will be less common with the rise of democracy and an end to tyranny. The typical human life will be extended as medicine improves. World power will be determined by economical state. The world will run through the internet, as computer chips and holograms will replace many everyday items. Colonizing deep space and other planets as moons will begin. And finally, we will have different ways to produce and harness energy. The future is looking bright for us.